it's quite important for us to learn what that longevity takes, but also to begin to start thinking about how we become accountable and responsible for our own higher learning. Please give her a very warm round of applause.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to honor the Honorable Minister of Transport in absentia. I'd like to recognize the board members of SACA, the Director of Civil Aviation Authority, the chief executives of the various entities in the industry, the board members of the entities, the acting DDG, the executives of SACA, the staff, members of SACA, and all the distinguished guests in here today. It is an honor for me today, ladies and gentlemen, to be given an opportunity to present or to open perhaps a discussion on the topic that has been mentioned here by the Program Director on harnessing opportunities in South Africa, focusing on the subtopic of the next generation of aviation professionals. My presentation is going to cover those areas. I'm not going to get into basically detail at this stage, but those are the areas that will be covered in the presentation. As I've indicated, I'll be specifically talking with regards to NGAP. Ladies and gentlemen, I think the program director has just alluded to the challenges or the fourth industrial revolution is bringing both challenges and excitement and everything at the same time. So the fourth industrial revolution is here, and we know that it is characterized by an era of disruptive technologies, the issues of artificial intelligence, robotics, and so forth and so on. And therefore, the aviation sector that we see today is significantly going to change into the future. And that translates into the workforce that we have in the aviation sector, which will equally evolve. And therefore, so are the strategies to attract and educate and retain this talent needs to change. This also brings about the challenges of war for talent, where aviation will be contending with a number of sectors for future talent. And therefore we need to accelerate efforts to ensure that we win this war in order to secure a future air transport system that is managed by talented professionals. Another challenge that is worth noting, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's something that is known. The aviation population is aging, with an average age estimated above 50, and therefore it is expected that a large contingent of the current aviators is actually going to be retiring soon. And therefore, where does then this NGAP come in? So with that realization of the agency to ensure that the issues of shortage of skills are dealt with, the ICAO in 2009 launched the next generation of aviation professional initiatives to ensure adequate aviation professionals for future international air transport system. The NGAP was formalized through ICAO Resolution 839/29 in 2016. Of course, the resolution also emphasized the importance of collaboration between ICAO states, industry, education institutions in order to make sure that we attract, educate and retain the next generation of aviation professionals. In giving effect to this resolution, also ICAO established an NGAP task force to ensure that the global community has sufficient competent human resources. What is the vision of NGAP and the mission? The vision is simply to ensure a global aviation community that has sufficient, competent human resources to support a safe and secure, sustainable air transport system. And the mission is to develop strategies, best practice, and so forth to make sure that the vision is realized. Ladies and gentlemen, therefore, what has been the role of South Africa so far in this NGAP program? South Africa was invited by ICAO to participate in 2017 in inaugural summit to explore the role of regulators in fostering NGAP, NGAP, and of course South Africa participated. And in recognition of South Africa's contribution to the aviation sector, the former Deputy Minister of Transport, Ms. Sindisiwe Chikunga, was a guest speaker at the ICAO NGAP Global Summit in December 2018. In addition, colleagues, in 2018, the Director of Civil Aviation was requested to appoint a representative to form part of the NGAP task force, owing to the contribution that South Africa has made in this kinds of programs. So therefore, South Africa continues to participate and contribute in this task force as the ICAO is in the process of formulating a global aviation strategy or framework that will assist states to then develop their own strategies. An effort to further progress gender equality and female representation should aim to create internships, learnerships, trainees, best opportunities, and encourage young female professionals to apply. Mentorship programs that are dedicated for girls in elementary school and high school, and those mentorship programs that will also focus on women who are in leadership positions and specialist positions in aviation already, and coaching programs. In terms of then taking the advantage of this NGAP program, South Africa, I'm sure through the Department of Transport, has an opportunity of developing the national strategy, as I've alluded that ICAO is busy developing a global strategy, and which will then assist states to be able to develop their own strategy. So that is quite important as we take advantage of this NGAP program. Building schools and academies that have a long-term vision to attract and retain women. Aviation strength and success as an industry is rooted in its skilled workforce, and women are an integral part of that, ladies and gentlemen. As I conclude, touching on some of the current initiatives, it is important that we look at what we're currently doing, both in partnership with some of the entities, Department of Transport, and so forth. The Department of Transport is leading the process of nationalizing the National Aviation Transformation Strategy for the aviation sector with the support of SACA and other entities and departments. The SACA is part of the Joint Aviation Awareness Program, which is JAP, and which is a multi-entity outreach program promoting aviation careers and targeting high school learners. SACA has a bursary program, ladies and gentlemen, which seeks to contribute transformation of the aviation industry and the pipeline of the next generation of aviation professionals. And this covers pilot training, aeronautical engineering, aircraft maintenance, engineering, and other programs that we have are also trainee program and internship program. There is also an I-Fly STEM Maths and Science, which is a tutor program aimed at supporting learners studying these subjects to excel as they approach senior high school grades. What is important, ladies and gentlemen, is I think it has been touched on earlier. Without leadership, all of these initiatives basically will come to nothing. We cannot begin to talk about women advancement if we do not have leadership, if we do not show leadership. So therefore it is important to emphasize that programs like these needs to be supported at senior level. At SACA, we are fortunate we've got support from the board, and I have the chairperson here sitting in front of me of the HRC, and the programs are reported at that level. And that demonstrates the importance of programs like this that seeks to advance women and youth development.
Our center, as I said, the Piper Tomahawk, and then we have an air traffic control tower. Then we have a flight simulation room. We have 2 flight simulators currently in our stream laboratory in Cape Town, and we also have the robotics and the IoT room and a classroom. We have a 737 door, but talk about the 737 door at Lanseria International Airport in Hangar 30 at the Skyhawk hangar. We bought a 737-200. Sadly, this hangar, you know, a 737 is about four stories or three stories high. And unfortunately, the hangar was not big enough, so we had to cut it off, much to my dismay, cut it off there at the wing route, and we converted this into a classroom space. You can see there's some pictures up there. We converted this into a classroom space. Now, this classroom is actually an aircraft where we can sit in. The learners can sit in. They have a tray table, their laptops, or we've got some tablets as well, where they can actually sit and experience what it is like to be in an airplane and still being in a stimulating learning environment. Our stream laboratory at Lanseria, as I said, please come visit it. It's really a good experience for our youth and children. We have about 4,000 learners coming into both stream laboratories in Cape Town and Lanseria. And then some of our achievements, I've told you what we've learned, our tough lesson that we've learned with our cycle to 43 Air School, but we launched the first mathematics science technology, the stream laboratory. Let me let you get used to the acronym, the stream laboratory. So we launched that first stream laboratory, and it is a unique experience for our learners, because there's really nothing like that in the world or in South Africa, where everything is aviation and aerospace focused. Our scholarship fund that has more than 20 pilots that graduated, and 5 of them are actually instructors now and giving back to community, and that is what we want to achieve. We want to achieve full circle. We want everyone who has benefited, just like myself. I've benefited from a scholarship program as well, the South African Airways Cadet Program, and it's my duty to give back, and that I want to ask those that benefit from the foundation and anyone that is generous in the aviation industry to give back. We've successfully partnered with AppShed to bring the best in fourth industrial revolution, such as robotics and coding, to more than 15,000 learners since 2015. And we've engaged with more than 100,000 youth in South Africa since we've established in 2010. I just want to say last few words. I hope I'm good with time. Yes. And then I just want to say, let's make a pledge here today, each and every one of us. It doesn't have to be big. You don't have to be the founder of a non-profit organization. You don't have to go big. It starts with one person, and it starts with a small gesture to the next generation. Let's make that pledge today and say, yes, I am going to lead. I'm going to lead with passion and share my passion of aviation, and I will encourage others to attain their dreams. Thank you.
We also have bursaries for women and youth. This is what we offer for our ATC bursar program. And I can safely say that since I've moved to the ATA, most of our intake that we have had in the past years, the majority of students who were in those intakes were females. I remember the last intake that we had, we only had one male that was coming from one of the units within HNS, but otherwise the whole class was female. We also have senior management coaching programs that we develop our newly appointed managers so that they can be able to function optimally within their roles. And this is offered for females. The bursary program for Sanan Foundation that we do with Sanan Foundation, wherein we identify students that are coming from previously disadvantaged townships and rural areas and offer them bursary assistance at universities, and 60% of the beneficiaries are women. We also provide experiential learning opportunities for women and youth. This is outside the HES and the engineering programs that we have, who would have been deployed all over the department so that they can be able to gain experiential learning. And the majority of them is are females. These are the numbers just to confirm the programs that we are running with. You can see last year, as committed with our shareholder, we managed to train 61 bursary. These are the students that would have completed their matric and come to HNS to participate in the bursary program. And once they are successful, they are absorbed. And last year, I can safely say that about 90% of that were females. I just felt I should also share with you some of the activities that we have that are supporting our transformation roadmap. Training pipeline. Initially this pipeline was designed to address the attrition that was occurring because a lot of our air traffic controllers were laid off. But this has done a great deal in addressing some of the historical anomalies that we have. That's why today I can safely stand here and say we do have intakes of girls that are coming from entry. We have already mentioned the Women Development Program that is available for female employees. We also partner with JAB. I think my colleague here has already indicated that we participate in the Joint Aviation Awareness Program. We have also invested in a mobile simulator so that we can be able to demystify the complexity of the ATC world. Because people, when you talk about ATC, they just see it as something else that is confusing. They just think that maybe the pilots, when they fly, they know where they are going. They just fly. They don't know that there are routes that HNS would have designed here on designed on the airspace. So this simulator has been provided to make sure that at least we send the message that, by the way, there's a career in aviation called ATC. We also have programs aimed at improving STEM subjects at schools. This is the simulator that I was talking about. You can see that on the screen it's like a TV screen that when we go out all over the country with this bus, we are able to play videos that talks about the career in aviation. By the way, we are not selfish, we even talk about the pilot as a career. Inside, unfortunately, the picture that I'm having here, I think, was at the time when we were still fitting some of the screens. It has inside, it's like you're sitting in the bus. In front of you are simulators that you can be able to simulate. So it gives the young kids an opportunity to have a feel of what being an air traffic controller is all about. How do you see an aeroplane on a radar? So it's something that we feel very proud to have, because this is one thing that at least can be able to communicate the message with an experience. So some of the CSIs project that we have, support and the promotion of the same subject. You can see our chairperson there with the deputy minister, the former deputy minister, showing the microscope that HNS had prepared for the lab. The other part is the lab on its own. And we also provided some of the schools with computers so that they can be able to have access to computers. I think my colleague has already indicated that we are now in the 4th industrial revolution. Every kid that you meet outside the street has a phone. So they all need the computer so that they can be able to learn. We also support the winter school camp program so that the school kids can be able to have the vision of all the STEM subjects. Every year we have a program called Take a Girl Child to Work. The ladies that you have seen there, those are the female instructors and the ATA, showing the girls how they train the air traffic controllers.
And one of the key challenges that we've had, which actually informed the decision to pursue the French option after quite a number of engagements, was the pass rate, or I would say the failure rate, especially for women. So I think it's quite important. That has been because we've been having a program, the bursary program, over the past 4-5 years, and when we looked at the key challenge was particularly around the issue of women, black women, and other African students in general. And in fact, we had quite, and I'm sure that Dese won't kill me for saying this, we had some challenges of racism, where we ended up having to pay more than double the actual cost. So I'm now getting into the second part of the question, which is questioning the cost of taking the students to France. And so you would find that the students, instead of taking maybe 8 months, they would actually, the period would be doubled, and the cost would be doubled. So we have, and we've engaged in certain instances some of the schools where we've had challenges, and we continuously engage. So we do have, having said that, we do have, we're working closely with some of the schools. We've got quite a number of students in various schools in South Africa. So this is a pilot program, and as part of making sure that we begin to make a comparison also in terms of, is it really correct that people take this long to actually to qualify in terms of their pilot training? So it was basically addressing some of the challenges, and I think we will review that.